Well, well, well. Well, well, well. Babes, welcome back to the Jenaya Talks Caps podcast emergency episode here during the summer. I have not been in hockey mode at all. I don't know if you guys can tell. Not much going on really up until these last few days here, and our Washington Capitals right in the thick of things here around the NHL, and that is why we are hopping on here today. Emergency episode, like I said. Yeah, Sunny, good lord, my notes have disappeared here. Do you want to just say hi for a minute while I grab? We've had so many technical difficulties here. It's unbelievable. Like we're on here. What time is it now? It's 10:30 at night here in British Columbia, Canada. And so that would be what? Let's see. They're 3 hours ahead on the East Coast, so that's 1:30 in the morning in the DMV area. So that's great. So yeah, sorry to everyone out there that this episode is coming at you so late. We wanted to do a live stream. We were hoping to get a lot of people, having their comments and whatnot coming through in the chat, but obviously it's really late at night for that there. So I'm sure that we're not going to get too many live comments here, but that's fine. People can watch it tomorrow morning and still get all of the information in case anyone missed the trades that have been going down for the Washington Capitals. So yeah, Sunny, just say hello here. I'm just trying to get my notes back here. I don't know what's going on here. It's like my computer's telling me I'm hacked right now.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I just got like a big red screen and it's like danger, danger, danger. So
on the internet or like your laptop?
Yeah. I was trying to go, I'm trying to go to my Google Docs to get my notes.
That sounds a bit suspicious.
A little bit sketchy here, folks. So this is what happens on a summer episode. Like we are just not prepared. These trades came out of nowhere, but we are prepared in the way of what we want to talk about. If I could just get my notes up here. So yeah, Sunny, just say hello to the folks out there.
Hello, everybody. I mean, technical difficulties. What can you? I mean, I think no one was expecting things to happen, so it's like you're not even ready. So even if you had everything together, you're just like in shambles trying to figure out your shit because you're just like, whoa, what? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, it's like everything just kind of has happened all at once here. Like not even just for the Caps, by the way. Like the trades around the National Hockey League in general over the last few days or so have been bonkers. Like there's a lot going on. Everybody kind of trying to get their business done ahead of the draft here. So yeah, it's not just been the Caps. There's a lot going on all around the NHL, and certainly a lot going on here with our Washington Capitals. So like I said, that's why we wanted to hop on here just to talk about everything, because yeah, a couple of huge moves coming through for the Caps. Sunny, why don't you just tell everyone what you've been doing with your summer here for a second as I get going here.
I've been crying because there's no hockey on.
You've been crying?
I mean, yeah, just enjoying the summer weather and taking a break from hockey, because hockey, I think we can all say, is a bit stressful. I mean, I personally was not stressed off this playoffs because, I mean, yes, it was sad that our team wasn't in the playoffs, but there was two teams that were not in the playoffs anymore that I was glad and happy. So I had a good playoffs.
It was very, it was different for sure, like with the Caps not being in it. But I did find that like it was, I don't want to say different in a good way, because of course you always want the Capitals to be in the playoffs, but it was a lot less stressful than usual for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it was definitely different that way. Like there wasn't the stress that you'd normally have when you're, watching your own team in the playoffs. I was able to, I know for me personally, like I was able to just kind of enjoy it, like actually just enjoy it a lot more than usual, rather than being stressed out throughout the entirety of it. So, and yeah, a lot of the teams that we don't like were eliminated nice and early. So it was very
one of them wasn't even, for me, one of them didn't even make the playoffs. So that was like a cherry on top.
Yeah, it was a, you're talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs, obviously, you being from Toronto. Yeah, but yeah, it was very stress-free. It was, and yeah, I mean, now, like, here we're thinking summer months, it's going to be relatively quiet. Like we knew we had the draft coming up on Friday, and then of course there's free agency on Canada Day, July 1st. So we kind of expected some things to be going on over the next week or so. But yeah, I mean, the Caps getting started nice and early here with a couple of blockbuster trades, Sonny. So for Caps fans, who might have missed it, and I don't blame you if you did miss it, because
Gone
obviously,
camping, what?
yeah, like you're out at the lake or you're out on the water, you're in a tent somewhere, whatever. Don't blame me at all. So yeah, it is summer, and like I said, it's like we're like a week out from the draft still, so we weren't really expecting things to start coming through quite this early here. I thought we had a couple more days, but here we are. And I'm certainly not complaining, because I am pretty stoked on what the Caps are attempting to do here. So yeah, for Caps fans who may have missed it, the Washington Capitals, they trade for Jordan Kyrou from the St. Louis Blues. And that trade had the Caps sending to St. Louis forward Connor McMichael, prospect Milton Gastrine, and one of the Caps' first-round picks in this year's draft, because you will remember the Caps had 2 first-round picks for this year's draft, thanks to the trade of John Carlson at the NHL's trade deadline. And so the Caps, they still retain one of those first-round picks, and we'll break this whole deal down here in just a second and let you know what we like so much about it. But the Caps, they were not done after that one. Oh, no. Not by a long shot, as the very next day here, they are able to complete a sign and trade for the top pending free agent on the free agent market, that being forward Alex Tuch, formerly of the Buffalo Sabres. So the Caps, they send a third-round pick to Buffalo because Alex Tuch wanted to come to the Washington Capitals, and so he signs an 8-year deal. And oh my goodness, like what a 48 hours here as a Washington Capitals fan. And like I mentioned, like we're going to get into really breaking both of these deals down and just what we like about them for the Caps. But first, kind of right off the top here, I have just got to say, thank goodness that general manager Chris Patrick finally figured out how to dial out on the freaking phone lines, right? Like he finally he makes something big happen here after a very underwhelming first couple of years on the job. I think we can all agree on that. But yeah, I mean, he is making up for it in a hurry here as he makes 2 of the biggest moves of the summer so far by any team, right? The Caps, they needed top 6 scoring. He has acquired top 6 scoring here with these 2 deals. So Sonny, just kind of like, what are your first impressions of these 2 moves made here by general manager Chris Patrick? Were you shocked? Were you not shocked? Are you excited? How excited are you? Like, what's the vibe like right now for you with these couple of acquisitions by our Caps?
So it was funny because I remember when we talked about it, you're like, because I didn't know, I wasn't like expecting anything to happen. So same as anybody else. So when you told me about it, and you're like, oh, but it's not going to be somebody you want to let go, and I'm like, oh. So for me, as a fan, I think we're just always used to players being on the team, and of course they eventually leave. But I personally have not seen so much of Kyrou, but I know you mentioned he's a really, really good player. So for me, I'm excited to see kind of what he brings in offense to the team. And like we said, we had so much problems scoring last year, like finishing. So I'd be excited to see what he brings on the ice. And sad to see McMichael go, but
you're like gonna cry right now. I can
no. I'll cry
just tell people, like, you love Connor McMichael. He's one of your guys. You love the kid. You're sad. It's okay. You can say it. It's that's the part of being a fan, right? Like, we are fans, and
invested.
we all have players who we like or who we have some sort of like emotional attachment to and who we're invested in. Like you just said, you were invested in Connor McMichael for sure. You really, really like him. And that's part of being a fan, right? Like, even if we know that, like, logically this is a good trade for the Washington Capitals, you always have players who you just like and you want them to stay with your team. So it's okay. You can tell us you're sad.
It was
It's
just like
fine.
he was such a young guy, and he was like, all-rounded player too. Like, there was a lot of grit in him too. Like he wouldn't take any shit from any other like veteran players too. So it was nice to see a younger player in our roster that had that, because not a lot of like, young players have that these days. So it's actually nice to see that he did have that. So I mean, good luck to St. Louis on having him now, because you know they'll have a little bit of grit on their team.
St. Louis, yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah, I think like I mean, see, I'm like a very optimistic person, as you very well know. That's just kind of naturally how I am.
Justin, sort of.
And so I was no, I mean in life. I'm a very optimistic person in life. And that does translate to my fandom of my hockey team. So, yeah, I mean, so I was still, my point is that I was still holding out hope. Like, I'm that person who, like, I still believe in fairy tales, still believe in happy endings. And so I chose to still believe, even after 2 years of evidence to the contrary, I still chose to believe that General Manager Chris Patrick would, at some point, get something real done, make a trade for a top six forward. And now here we are. Optimism wins out yet again. Yeah, you're shaking your head because I'm so annoying.
You don't think,
Um,
like, I just like I remember you mentioning the fleecing about Brian McClellan. You don't think Brian McClellan has any twiddles and like little finger
oh,
magic
he's got his
happening
paws all over
behind
this
the
one for sure.
scenes?
Yeah, he's got his paws all over this one, all over both of these. Yeah, for sure. He's still kicking. He's still kicking
Showing
around
the
for
ropes.
sure. Yeah, yeah. He's like, Chris, like we
I
gotta get
think that's
moving
kind of
here.
what happened here. Was like the boot was like, hey, 2 years have gone by, and TikTok.
Yeah. So yeah, Brian McClellan, I think, had been hanging out up in the ivory tower, and then time for daddy to come downstairs and tell the
Came
kid
back
how
from
to
his
get it done.
tropical vacation.
Yeah, so yeah, Chris Patrick, I mean, so he doesn't just acquire one top six forward, he acquires two of them. I think that's what has shocked people here. And like, boy, oh boy, like we will get into the cost, particularly on the Alex Tuch deal, because there really wasn't much cost on either of these two deals combined, like in terms of assets given up by the Caps. Like of course we love Connor McMichael, but I love it way more. I love it way more that they were able to pull this off and acquire two top six scoring forwards without giving up any of their A+ prospects. Like that is absolutely huge. So yeah, we'll get into all of that. We'll get into the cost, like I said, which is basically just like actual dollar cost, right? Because like I said, the Caps really didn't give up all that much in terms of like A+ assets. So yeah, like I said, we'll get into all of that. But first, let's just talk about what the Capitals are getting with these two players, because they are getting a lot. So Jordan Kyrou, right? Like Sonny, you mentioned like you haven't really seen him play too much with the St. Louis Blues. But I mean, he's young. He's 28 years old still. He's been in the league a long time for being 28 years old. He's got a lot of experience. He has scored a lot of goals in this league. He's a three-time 30 plus goal scorer already. He's had close to 40 a couple of times. And of course that's with the St. Louis team who, is not really all that known for scoring goals. So he's kind of been a standout. Yeah, he's kind of been a standout in that way for them, and kind of managing to put up those those goal numbers, those totals, with kind of a less offensively inclined team. So that's pretty impressive. I do think that he'll be able to score even more with this Washington Capitals team, who likes to play kind of a more up-tempo style of game under Spencer Carberry. But yeah, he's a three-time 30-plus goal scorer already. Got a ton of points in the league. Like he's one of the fastest skaters in the entire NHL. He's actually won the NHL's fastest skater competition at the NHL All-Star Game before. And yeah, you didn't know that, eh? Yeah, he's he can scoot. He's fast.
Because all you hear is fucking McDavid all the time. So it's like, who else skates so fast? So yeah, would have never known.
Yeah, like there's nobody else fast in the league other than Connor McDavid.
Well, so
But
true.
yeah, like in addition to his traditional statistics, which I just talked about, the 30 plus goal seasons, all the points he's put up. Those are kind of the traditional stats that people always look at. But in addition to that, he's also got great underlying metrics as well. He led all St. Louis Blues players in expected goals for. He is a play driver. He can create from nothing. And what I really like about this trade as well is that you have got cost certainty with this player, as he has still got 5 years left on his current contract. So I love that. Sonny, did you want to add anything before I get into like I just got some points here on just how I think he's going to fit in our system specifically, but
Yeah, I just was wondering if you had any idea of who you think Carberry potentially would put him with, because you're saying he's a really high like he drives a lot of plays. So I'm just curious because we have a couple of guys on our team that do drive plays. So I'm just curious, would he put him with somebody that does the same, like on the rush, or like you were? I think you meant talked about that, like, or maybe it was Alex about the rush. But yeah, I'm just curious who
well,
you
they're
think.
both of these guys who the Caps have acquired, like both Jordan Kyrou and Alex Tuch, they're two of the best rush scorers in the entire NHL. Like they both score a lot off the rush, which I think was a problem for the Caps last year, right? Like that's something
Mhm.
that they needed to add, because the Caps, I was going to get into that a little bit later, but like the Caps are a great possession team. They generate a lot of rushes for themselves. Offensively, they generate the rushes, but they weren't able to score on them. So these are two guys, Kyrou and Tuch, who are both finishers. They can both score off the rush. They both do that frequently. They score a lot off the rush. Two of the best in the league, like I said, in that department. So I think it's going to help a lot. And yeah, the other point that I want to make on Kyrou is just that I also think that this is yet another player who is going to come to the Capitals organization and thrive under Spencer Carberry. Just as we have seen with so many players now, like Pierre-Luc Dubois, Jacob Chikrin, Justin Sordiff, Logan Thompson, Dylan Strome, right? Like it doesn't seem to matter which position a player plays. Everyone who comes to this team needing a fresh start just seems to absolutely thrive under Spencer Carberry. Which is one of the reasons why I think it was so important that the Caps got Carberry locked up to a brand new long-term contract extension. Yeah, fist pump, seriously. And Sonny, like you and I, we talked about that off air, but I think it's very well known around the league now that guys love playing for Spencer Carberry. They love competing for him. His teams work hard. They have players have their best years stats wise underneath him and his leadership, right? And so I think it was so important, not only for the guys who were already here, that the Caps got Carberry locked up, but I also think it was important because, as we have just seen with these two moves, Washington is a place that players want to come to and a place where players want
Mm.
to play, right? Like Jordan Kyrou, he had to waive his no trade clause in order for the Blues to be able to deal him here. The Alex Tuch sign and trade obviously never happens if he doesn't really want to come here. Like most guys would have wanted to test free agency, right? And see like who's going to give them the most money, especially given that he was all set to be the top free agent, literally on the market. That is a situation normally where guys always want to test free agency, right? Like if you're the top free agent, you want to see who's going to give you the most. Like guys
Yeah.
go to free agency when they're the top free agent typically, right? So I think that speaks to how much Alex Tuch wanted to come here. And so we're seeing this here now, right? Like guys want to play here, guys want to come here. And I honestly think that Spencer Carberry is a big, big part of that as well, along with many other things, obviously. But yeah, I mean, so Jordan Kyrou, and then of course we've got Alex Tuch. So what are the Capitals getting with Alex Tuch? Well, they're getting even more
Mm.
goals, that's for sure. This guy, just like Jordan Kyrou, he can score goals, he can put up points. All of the traditional stats for him, just like with Jordan Kyrou, are sparkling. And Alex Tuch, by the way, like he's another big dude that the Caps are adding to their already humongous forward group. Alex Tuch is 6'4", 220 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a big man. So he will fit right in that regard as well. Because the
Yeah, we a
Caps,
stack of big players here in Washington Capitals.
the Caps are scary big, man. Like they are humongous. And they only get even more so here with this sign and trade for Alex Tuch. And what I like about Tuch as well is that he also plays with a bit of an edge, right? Like he's physical. He gets to the hard areas of the ice, the net front, right? And like Kyrou, he also brings speed and an ability to score off the rush, like I mentioned. And yeah, I mean, that's like I said, that's another thing that I love about these two deals that the Caps have made here is that last season, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but like the Caps were a very good possession team and they did generate, like I said, a lot of rush chances for themselves. They just couldn't finish them, right? Like they were a very strong team who didn't make the playoffs because they could not finish enough. And both of these guys, both Tuch and Kyrou, they can both finish and they can both score off of the rush. And in fact, like in adding these two players, the Caps, like I said, they've added two of the very best rush scorers in the entire NHL. So that is a great fit for exactly what this team needed, in my opinion. It's not even my opinion. The stats say that they needed that. I don't take credit for it, but yeah, I mean, Sonny, what are you most excited about? I guess like I know you said you haven't seen both players, especially Jordan Kyrou in the Western Conference. Like you haven't seen them play so much, but like with me here talking, telling you like what we're getting with these two players, like what kind of excites you the most about what the Caps are getting here
I'm
with these two
just
guys?
curious. I'm just curious how they'll complement the centers, because our centers are pretty really like they're like really good centers, and at the same time, I just want to see. I myself want to see like how they complement the centers and how they kind of like I don't know how he's going to do the lines, but I'm just kind of excited to see for the first time them in the roster, if that makes sense. Like our players versus like what I've seen with Kyrou with St. Louis and what I've seen with Alex Tuch, because I've watched Alex Tuch and Buffalo obviously recently, but also when he used to play for Vegas, like he was pretty effective when he played on Vegas. So I do remember him being really effective in terms of being able to score goals. So I think you touched on it a lot about us not being able to have finishers, and it would like crush us so bad when we'd lose 2-1, 3-2, 1-0. Yeah, all year long. And if we remember correctly, we didn't make the playoffs because of one point or 2 points. So you think
Something
about
like that,
it,
yeah.
just like if you had these two players just this past season, we could have made the playoffs if we just had a couple more goals and just some guys to finish. And that's a big deal because like especially when you're like in a tight knit game where it's like a 1-1 game or like a really close game like that, you just need a finish, and we just couldn't finish. And so yeah, I'm it would be a nice relief to have some finishers this year is what I'm saying.
It
That's
was
all.
a
It was
lot of
so bad.
it was a lot of
So
one
bad.
goal. It was a lot of one goal losses last season. Yeah.
You know, it's because I think the previous year we were so used to it being such a gap, like it being like a 4-2 game or like a high scoring game, but it was like not close. And even when it was close, we'd score goals. So it did, like you never felt like, oh shit, like the game is over, we're gonna lose. But last year it felt like, oh no, like we can't score a goal, like this game is over. Like even with pulling the goal, like we just couldn't score a goal. So
Well, it
I
didn't
think that's
help
what.
that like the power play was absolute trash for most of the
Oh
season.
yeah, and that
Yeah.
too. Like I'm really excited to see if he puts one of them on the power play because our power play going in before the playoffs was really hot, like with Cole Hudson added into it,
Hmm.
and adding Leonard as a consistent player on it as well, and kind of taking back a couple of different players, like removing Carlson and
John
adding
Carlson
Chikrin.
leaving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I'm just curious to know how the power play will look like now that those two guys are into the mix. Like I'm
Hmm.
curious, so that'll be exciting to see. So.
Yeah, they should help that for sure. And yeah, I think like it's so weird, like because last season, so like 2 seasons ago, the season prior, right when they finished first place in the entire Eastern Conference, they were scoring on every opportunity. It felt like they did have like an unsustainably high shooting percentage. We knew that that wasn't going to we knew that they weren't going to be able to replicate that. Like that wasn't sustainable by any means
Mhm.
heading into the next season. But I don't think very many people foresaw this large of a drop off from the previous season
Yeah.
to this last season. Like it kind of went
Yeah.
the complete opposite direction where it was like the prior season we were scoring on every chance that we got, and then this
Right.
season we could not score on any of them, it felt like. So
And it wasn't just one guy or two guys. It was literally
it was
everybody. It
everybody.
was
Yeah, it
just
was
like
everybody. And
what?
there was of course a lot of bad luck involved in that. They led the league in posts and crossbars. Like, that hopefully will change this coming season. So there was a lot of bad luck going against them as well, but I do think that they definitely needed to add some scoring up front. And I think everybody knew that, and they've definitely done that here in Jordan Kyrou and Alex Tuch. And as far as what they gave up in these trades, I mean, the Jordan Kyrou trade, like I know Connor McMichael, you're gonna cry, like I said.
I think I'm okay with what you're saying. I was very close to him, but
You were
I
very
can
close to. You act like you know the guy personally. Oh, he's my friend. Like,
we got some comments by the way, but yes, no, I think I'm attached to these players. Like I think I will cry when Milano eventually is not like even in our
he's gone. He's not gonna be
I
back.
know.
He's
Yeah, I
gone.
know. I just it just stop. I'm just pretending like he's still there, okay?
No, but you should start like mentally preparing yourself for the Sonny Milano has signed in Switzerland tweet. Or like,
Oh.
I think that's gonna happen. I don't think he's gonna be in the NHL next season, which is unfortunate. I like the guy too. He had a pretty bad. It seems like it was pretty bad injury. Um, during his time here, and he just never
Mhm.
really got back after
Yeah.
that. So, but yeah, I mean, so they give up Connor McMichael, which of course it's sad, it sucks. We like the player. He had a way down year this past season.
Yeah, yeah.
He didn't score very many goals. Didn't put up as many points. But he's a good player, right? And he's a good young player. I just think in terms of Connor McMichael, like I'm happy for him because he's going to get a fresh start on a team in the St. Louis Blues that does not have the forward depth that the Caps do. So I
Mhm.
think there's going to be more room for him to grow there, get more ice time, get more opportunity. I think it will be good for him. And I think, like, in terms of the Caps, like, he just didn't really fit here anymore. They drafted him as a center, right? That never really worked out. He didn't really work out down the middle at all, really. So they had moved him to the wing, and now, of course, they're upgrading at their wing positions with like Jordan Kyrou and Alex Tuch, and then they've got these other young guys coming out, like Ryan Leonard's here now as well. So like Andrew Crystal is going to be here eventually,
Oh
probably
yeah,
pretty soon as well, right? Like
totally.
they have a lot of wingers. Lyndon Lakovich, like he's going to be here eventually. Like they have a lot of really, really, really strong winger prospects. So I think like long term, they probably didn't want to, because McMichael needs a new deal as well, right?
Yeah.
He's a restricted free agent right now. He doesn't have a new contract yet, so he needs a new deal. And I just think that they didn't want to commit the money or the term to him that they would
Fair
have
enough.
to commit with him. Now being a winger, right? Because they kind of have a lot of better
Yeah,
options
yeah.
on the wing than him. So yeah, he's a good player. Like St. Louis is getting a good young player for sure. But I don't mind it from the Caps
We
perspective.
got some comments by the way.
Oh, let me go over here. Oh, let me just finish on this trade. So yeah, they give up Connor McMichael. They did not. This is just as important as what they gave up, is what they did not give up. So they did not give up any of their better prospects, right? Which
Thank
is
God.
very impressive to get this done, this trade for Jordan Kyrou, without giving up any of your better prospects. Very impressive. I am very happy about that. That is not something that I wanted them to do at all. So they keep all of their best prospects. And you would consider him like a lesser prospect
Mhm.
in Milton Gastrine. He's a good prospect, but the Caps have so many great prospects that you can definitely
So like a full deck of cards.
yeah, you can
But
definitely afford to part with Milton Gastrine if you're the Washington Capitals, I guess is what I'm saying. But for St. Louis Blues fans, like you're getting a decent prospect. It's just from our point of view, he was like probably around like our 8th to 10th best prospect. So
Yeah.
for us, not a big deal at all. And then you give up a mid first round draft pick, which is again really not a big deal at all because, as we have already mentioned, the Caps had 2 of those for this year's draft, right? And so they still do have 1. So again, that's like you're giving up something that, from the Washington Capitals' perspective, is not a big deal to give up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a first round pick, but you had 2 of them almost back to back. Like you had the 16th overall and the 18th overall. So you keep 1, you give up 1. It's not a big deal. Let's go to the comments here before I get to the what they gave up in the Alex Tuch deal. Let's see. So we've got 709 concert videos checking in. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. It's been a while. We're here. It's what is it, June 24th, and we are here doing a hockey podcast. So no, I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. Off-season podcast, like you said. It's good to see the Caps making moves so that we have something to talk about, honestly. We got more comments here. Let's see. 709 concert videos again says, don't care for the length of the Tuch contract at 30 years old for over $8 million a year. Yeah, I do agree with that. We'll get to that in just a second here. And got another one here. 709 concert videos again says, McMichael had his chance. He will look for too much in his next contract. He's fast but doesn't have any finish and loses every board battle. Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think he had a pretty good run here in terms of like the opportunity that he got. Like they moved him all over the lineup, right? They did try him in the top 6. They tried him on the third line. They tried him, like I said, at center. They tried him on the wing. He had like spurts of success, but really other than like the one season that he scored a bunch of goals at the beginning of the season and then he really cooled off after that like 30 game stretch or whatever it was at the start of that one season, that was basically when he scored most of his goals, like with the team during his tenure here, right? All the other months, years that he was here, basically, he didn't really do much scoring or much finishing, as you're saying. So, yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with all of that, Sonny. I don't know how you feel, but yeah, I think 709 concert videos is pretty bang on there. Like I think him being an RFA, I think it's pretty clear. I said this to you today off air. Like I think it was pretty clear to me that they probably were going to trade him because of the fact that they still hadn't signed him to a new deal, right? I think it was becoming pretty obvious that they probably weren't in agreement with McMichael's camp on like how much money he should get or how much term, or like even if you feel like, you know, he can get that from some other team, the Capitals probably didn't want to commit that term or that money for this player because, like I said, he's really only had success on the wing here, right? And we kind of drafted him to be a center. We have a lot of wingers who are kind of better options at this point than him, certainly in the future years coming up. So it wouldn't have really made any sense for the Caps to commit that term and that money to him. And yeah, I mean, he's fast, but I mean, Kyrou's fast too. Tuch's fast too. So I don't really have any problem with letting Connor McMichael go here. I don't know what you feel, Sonny.
Yeah, no, I'm sad, but like, I want the team to be better. So, I mean, whatever makes the team better at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know,
that's how I feel. Exactly. You get attached to players for sure. I mean, that's
like I don't want to not see our team in the playoffs because I feel like we're a pretty decent team to have a good run. Yeah. So if that means changing players, then it means changing players. It is hockey.
Yeah, I mean, it's a business, right? Like that's what Ovechkin always says is a business. Like
Ovechkin's a different story here.
You got to get used to players moving in and out. So it's and yeah, 709 concert videos. Another comment here says, how many breakaways did he fail to bury last season? Yeah, I feel like if Connor McMichael,
there were so many.
I feel like honestly, if Connor McMichael could have scored on even like half of his breakaways last season, maybe not even half, even like a third of them, we probably would have been in the playoffs, seriously, because we lost so many games by a single goal.
Not just him. All the guys had breakaways. I can't remember who, but there was him and another player that had breakaways, and they just couldn't bury it.
It reminds me of like, you remember like fucking Carl Hagelin? Like he was so fast. He would get so many breakaways. And it's just like, Carl Hagelin on a breakaway, it's like you just felt like, all right, like I can get up and go to the fridge, I can get a snack. Like, it's not going
You
in. Like
said that before. I
but
remember
it's
one of
true.
your
It's true.
videos.
Like you just knew that it was just going to be uneventful. Like it's just going to be
Just
straight.
like you said about the power play before
Yeah.
Kohut's gone.
Straight into the logo on the goaltender's jersey, or like straight into the pad, like not making the goalie move at all. Like it was just, and that's kind of what it felt like for Connor McMichael this past season. So, I mean, yeah, I feel like if he could have scored on some of his breakaways this past season, the Caps probably would have been in the playoffs because they barely missed and they lost so many games by just a single goal. So
Bad.
and then yeah, just getting back to what the Caps gave up here for Alex Tuch, it's really just money, right? Like you really didn't have to give up anything asset wise to get him because he wanted to come here, and so it's just actual dollars, right? Which again, I don't care. It's not my money. It's Uncle Teddy's money, right? I don't care. So it's I mean, you're probably, when you look at it like from a salary cap perspective, is it an overpay? Yeah, probably. But like that's kind of how it goes with the free agent market, right? Like if you're not acquiring somebody in a trade where there's like cost certainty with their deal, like we did with Jordan Kyrou, when you're getting players in the free agent market, you're almost always having to overpay, right? Because there's going to be lots of teams after them. I do think that like the Caps probably kept the cap hit down even a little bit from what it might have been had he made it to the open market, just because so many teams were reportedly thirsty for him. And that, like if he made it to July 1st, that probably would have driven the price up even a little bit more. So I like the sign and trade. I like giving up the 3rd round pick. That's not a big deal to get the deal done at probably a little bit less than what he would have got on the free agent market. It is a little bit sticker shock. Like it's $10.5 million per season. But I do encourage people to kind of think about this deal in terms of like the rising salary cap environment that we're in as well. Because I think that like we're kind of having sticker shock with all of these deals that are being signed, like Darren Radish for $8.5 million per season for 8 years, right? With the Leafs. He's literally had one season where he was like an actual NHL defenseman who like was decent. He was more than decent this past season, but like he's had one season where he did that. The rest of the seasons, like he was like a 30-point guy in the NHL or the AHL, right? Like last season was an outlier for him and he got paid like that. Alex Tuch has always been good, right? Like he's not coming in on like a 1-year, contract year anomaly where he only put up points this past season. No, he's always been good. So I think like that history of him being a good player is pretty comforting. Yeah, there's sticker shock with some of these deals, but I do think we have to consider like how much the salary cap is going to be rising over these next few years. $10.5 million here today, in 4 years, it's going to be more like 6.5, right? Because of how much the salary cap is projected to rise. So I don't love the 8 years for a 30-year-old player, but I think there's always ways to get rid of those contracts at the end of them. You're essentially like you're paying and hoping for good results from like the first half of this deal, right? Anytime that you look for players in the free agent market, you always have to give them more term than you want to. That's just the way it goes because there's so many teams competing for these guys. You always have to give them more money. You always have to give them more term, and you're kind of just trying to get half of the deal, the first half of the deal, where you're trying to win and they're a really good player. And then the back half, you just figure it out, right? Like there's always ways to bury contracts, buy them out, whatever, get rid of them. You can attach an asset, ship them out of here. Like there's always ways to get out of these things at the end of them. But I mean, yeah, I mean, $10.5 million. But again, it's honestly not that big of a deal at all for the Washington Capitals specifically, just because they had and still have so much money to spend. Right? Like they really do. Like they had so much money to spend. They still have quite a bit of money to spend here, even after these two deals for Kyrou and Tuch. The Caps still have an additional almost $13 million in salary cap space heading into next season. So they're very well set up here to pretty much do whatever the hell they want with that money. And so that's why, like this, to me, it doesn't feel like that big of a deal that they might have overpaid a little bit. Of course, you don't love it. Like you would have loved it to be, I don't know, 9 million instead of 10.5. If you're, you know, being nitpicky, which we all love to do because we're fans, right? But I just think that's kind of how the free agent market goes. Like you always have to overpay. It's always too much money. It's always too many years. But if you want the player, that's what you have to do, right? And we've all been, myself included, we have all been crying for a top 6 forward or more than one, for quite some time here, for 2 years basically. So I think sometimes that's just, you got to bite the bullet if you want the player, right? And the Caps clearly wanted the player. He was the top free agent on the market. There was not a lot available in terms of scoring forwards in free agency this season. They wanted to do this now because it's, like I said, it's been 2 years of looking for one. It was time to make a move, right? They, like I said, they had a really good team last season, honestly. Like all of their underlying numbers were very, very strong. They just need to be able to put the puck in the net more. And this is a guy who helps with that. Jordan Kyrou is a guy who helps with that. And yeah, they had the money to spend. And so that's what they're doing, right? Like if you've got the money, spend it. You don't get that salary cap space back if you don't use it every season, right? And the salary cap's only going to go up even more here in the coming years too. So like I said, if you've got the money, just spend it.
Like you call him Uncle Teddy.
Uncle Teddy, yeah. Daddy Warbucks. Yeah. I don't know, Sonny. How do you feel about the 8-year contract, the 10.5 million a year?
I mean, eventually, I think it'll have to be bought out.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be effective for that long. Like, not everybody's Alex Ovechkin, but I'm just saying that I can eventually see them buying it out for sure. But I was just telling you earlier, I'm like, it'd be really funny. I did mention this, that it would be actually poetic to have Alex Tuch on our team and ironically possibly win the cup with him on the team, when the first time we won the cup was when we were versing Alex Tuch.
Was because he missed that open net, yeah. Or not missed it. Holtby absolutely.
Yeah, Holtby made the save, the save on Alex Tuch. So it's pretty poetic that he.
I literally have, as you know, an autographed photograph of that save. Yeah. From Braden Holtby. Yeah, it is like kind of funny. Like things kind of come full circle.
Yeah.
Like he's I don't think he's gonna live that one down in this locker room.
No.
They'll probably be definitely Alex Ovechkin.
100%.
Definitely Alex Ovechkin, if he's around, will be reminding him of that. Tom Wilson will be reminding him of that for sure. So yeah, it's kind of funny for sure. Oh, we got one more comment here. 709 Concert Videos again says it's like Ovechkin in a shootout. I think you're talking about
McMichael, yeah.
Yeah, because we're behind on the comments here now, right? But I believe you're talking about Connor McMichael on a breakaway, right? Or Carl Hagelin on a breakaway, either or. Yeah, Ovechkin in a shootout. Well, that's the interesting thing here too, is that like Kyrou and Tuch, hopefully that's another area.
Yeah. Oh my God, shootout,
help,
right?
Add another different element in the shootouts here, because we have to add some other different element in the shootouts. Like I cannot watch again what we watched last season in the shootouts. I feel so bad for Logan Thompson. It's like he stops almost everything, and it's like, you guys cannot get me one freaking goal. One goal.
Remember there was like 2 games where it went on for like 6-7 rounds, and literally we're like, wow, can we just get a goal for the guy? Like,
he is such a stud.
Like 10 rounds or something ridiculous. It was just like, holy.
Yeah, he's such a stud. Like they need to get him some more goal support in the shootouts, because the amount of points that we lost in shootouts as well, we can't do that again, right? Like we cannot do that again.
But then when you're looking at the end of it and you're trying to make the playoffs, you're like, wow, I really wish we won 2 or 3 out of those shootouts that we.
Yeah, you come down to the end of the season and it's like a point here or there, and it makes all the difference. And it's just
got blown leads. Like,
got to be better,
because a lot like lazy daisical playing in the like second period and third period.
Lazy daisical.
Whatever. Whatever the fuck.
Lackadaisical.
Lackadaisical.
It's lazy or lackadaisical.
Whatever. You know
You're
what I
like,
mean,
it's
Huggy?
late. It's 11:15 p.m. Yeah. All right, let's get out of here. That's all the comments that we have here. Shout out 709 concert videos. Our hero here. You are like probably the only one watching this right now because it's so
All good.
late, and everyone else is going to see it not until tomorrow morning. So thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. And yeah, it was fun to be on here. For an off-season episode here, it's fun that the Caps are giving us something pretty big to talk about. I love when that happens. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what else they do here. If they do anything else before the draft, during the draft, what have you. Free agency, we don't. There's not really a lot available in free agency. They could maybe use a right shot defenseman, but there's not a whole lot
Yeah, since we don't have
available. So,
Carlson.
pardon?
Since we don't have Carlson.
It sounds like he's going to Tampa or maybe Philly.
I don't think he's coming back.
I don't think the Caps want him back.
No, I think we're just trying to be continue staying younger and like just mid. I think they're not trying to go backwards with getting him back. I think
Well,
they
they've already replaced his offense
Yeah.
with Cole Hudson, so that's fine. It's
Yeah.
just we kind of need another right shot guy. I think like they re-signed Timothy Ulligren. We didn't.
Oh
talk
my
about
God!
that
Thank
really,
God
but-
David Camp is gone.
Oh right, shoot! That was the part of the trade I forgot to mention. You guys.
David Camp is gone.
David Kemp is
David
gone.
Kemp is
David
gone.
Kemp is gone.
David
David
Kemp is
Kemp is
gone.
gone. David Kemp, we hardly knew thee. Get the
He
fuck
didn't
out of
even
here.
play. He played for like one shift and never saw the guy again. I was
I
like,
know.
thank God.
I have zero memories or recollection of David Kemp in a Washington Capitals jersey. Zero recollection. It was not memorable. No. We could do
Thank
without.
God.
We could have done without that one, I would say. But yeah, I completely forgot to mention that. So David Kemp as well is part of the sign and trade for Alex Tuch, right? So he goes to the Buffalo Sabres, which most importantly means he is not a member of our Washington Capitals any longer. So I was saying to you off air, like that was one of my favorite live streams that we did all season was like everybody.
David Camp. Everyone's shitting on David Camp.
Everybody shitting on David Camp. Everybody in the chat box just like fuck David Camp. Like, and the guy like hadn't even done anything yet. Like it was just like it was so funny.
He was just a sack of potatoes on the ice.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it was so funny. It was like he was taking a lot of flack from our listeners here and from us. But it was honestly hilarious. Like that was a really fun, episode.
We got some more comments here.
Really fun episode. I love our fans so much. Like I love our listeners so much. I don't want to call them fans because that like sounds conceited, but I love our listeners so much. Yeah, listeners.
Yeah. Listeners. Fan of the team.
Fan of the Caps, yeah. 709 concert video says, good to see you. Yeah, it's good to see you. Oh my goodness, look at this one. It's almost 4 a.m. here. Wow. Yeah, this was just a brutal time for us to do this live stream. We were having so many technical difficulties though. Like I tried to put it up once and it put it up with a title from like 3 months ago. And then I couldn't get rid of that. And then like my computer seems to be hacked or something. I don't know. So we'll see if that fixes itself. I'm not exactly tech savvy. 709 concert videos also says, please no more Carlson. Yeah, I don't think that you have to worry about that. It doesn't sound like they're going to bring him back. Like I said, I've heard Tampa Bay. I've also heard Philly. I know he wants to come back east somewhere, but like there were reports that Tampa Bay is going to offer him like the bag. Like they're going to offer him a big money deal. So I don't want the Caps to do that. Like not for that money. Not for that money.
Even like, I mean,
he's 36. He's 36 years old.
What? Like what? Anyway,
he's 36. Yeah, no, I'm good with Cole Hudson. Thank you. Okay, last comment here. 709 concert video says he actually wasn't too bad with the Leafs. David Kemp.
I disagree, man.
He wasn't. He actually wasn't that bad with the Leafs. Like the Leafs are just garbage in the playoffs.
Not memorable.
Not memorable, but he's a fourth line center. Like when are fourth line centers ever memorable unless your name is Nick Dowd or
I
Jay
guess
Beagle?
Maybe he was more memorable than Austin Matthews is on the ice. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he was pretty okay with the Leafs. I feel like we were pretty hard on David Kemp. But also that was like the most hilarious episode of the entire season. So
I think so too. I think just saying David Camp is just like, oh, there's like a
I
little
just
bit
love
of,
how like I just loved how like everybody, like all of our listeners just like got right on board with it and were like, fuck this guy. And like everybody was just it was like a 2-hour episode of like everybody shitting on David Camp. It was hilarious.
Remember,
Uh
was it him that we were talking about? Like he's a ghost or something like that. Like he's like he doesn't exist because
I said he's I believe I called him an elliptical. Like he's just a cardio machine. Like he's just out there doing like pure fucking cardio, like not doing anything other than cardio, just skating around. Yeah. David elliptical camp. Yeah. Anyways, guys, we're gonna get out of here now. Great to see all of you or hear from all of you. Sorry that this episode was streamed so late at night, but yeah, I would imagine that most people will probably catch it tomorrow morning. And yeah, as far as the rest of the off-season content here, so the draft is coming up on Friday, obviously. Free agency after that on July 1st. Everyone knows that. As far as us here on the podcast, I'm not sure yet what we're going to be able to do like in the immediate aftermath of those, like of the draft and free agency, July 1st. Just because, like I said, I'm in summer mode here. And I do have my best friend is flying out to see me, arriving here later this week. So she's going to be staying with me. And yeah, I probably won't be able to. You guys don't know her, but if you knew her, like she's not going to let me get on a stream for sure. Absolutely no way. So yeah, she's not going to go for that. So I probably won't be able to get on like in the immediate aftermath. But what we will do is we will do kind of like a recap episode of any other moves that the Caps make either at the draft or even if they use their first round pick to actually select somebody. We'll do kind of like a draft and free agency kind of recap in the aftermath, like maybe a couple of weeks out after that. Because yeah, I've got her coming. She's showing up later this week, and then after that, got another best friend coming out here, right? And then like got maybe a couple weeks after that where we can make some content, and then there's like more people coming after that, and then road tripping out to Banff or wherever after that. So if you Americans don't know where or what Banff is, you should look it up. It's pretty cool. You guys should check it out for sure. But yeah, so point is, we're in summer mode here, but we will be back at some point after the draft and after free agency to just kind of do a recap of any moves that the Caps end up making or any picks that they end up making at the draft or what have you. So yeah, we'll be back probably, like I said, probably a couple of weeks into July with another episode. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you all so much for listening. As always, Sunny, anything else to say here?
Let's just hope Ovechkin's going to give us the year that we want. I just hope. Come on, man.
I do think that these moves bode very well for him returning for one more season.
Like, why else make these moves?
Well, because it's good for the team in the future as well, like for the next several years. But I do think that it bodes well for him returning for one more season at least.
I think it's also that for them to entice him to like, yeah, man, just one more. Come on, you got one more in you.
Well, yeah, how can you not want to come back? Like, I'm like, is it October yet? Like, I want the season to start tomorrow. Like, I'm stoked. So, yeah, hopefully we will see Ovi for one more season at least. I really want to see the guy live one more time here in Vancouver. So, we'll see what happens though. So, yeah, babes, thank you all so much for listening, for watching. As always, we love having you all here. And as always, baby, let's go Caps.